Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another PossibilityStorm.com puzzle. So the Possibility Storm crew is working on the upcoming Rivals of Ixalan season of Possibility Storm. Good news is, they gave us a sweet between-season puzzle, an iconic puzzle featuring a bunch of iconic Masters stuff for this week while we're getting ready for the Rivals of Ixalan season. Speaking of Rivals of Ixalan season, if you want to get involved in the upcoming season, only a few weeks away, of PossibilityStorm.com for Rivals of Ixalan, make sure to head over to the Possibility Storm Patreon. You can find out all the info over there. Anyway, as far as this puzzle, we got the usual rules. Gotta kill the opponent this turn. There's no passing, hoping they whiff on their draw, hoping we top deck a bomb. We gotta kill them this turn or we lose. Opponent's at 9 life, although that's a bit deceiving because they have a Blood Baron of Viscopa, which has lifelink. So if we get involved with combat with the Blood Baron, our opponent can go up to 13 thanks to the lifelink. They also have 2 other huge blockers, including a 10/10 Knight of the Reliquary, since there's 8 lands in our opponent's graveyard. On our side of the battlefield, we have a motley crew of creatures, some spells, some creatures, a bit of mana. So I'm going to give you a chance to pause the video, see if you can come up with a solution to this week's PossibilityStorm.com puzzle, and I will be back in just a minute to break down the answer. So how did you do? Did you find the answer to this week's PossibilityStorm.com puzzle? Let's jump into this board state. So on our opponent's side of the board, they have 2 really huge creatures, but they're just really huge creatures. Knight of the Reliquary, summoning 6, so it can't get a land. Obnixilis, our opponent can't make a land drop, so they just block our 2 biggest creatures. No matter what, keep that in mind. They are just massive blockers. Blood Baron is a pretty good blocker that also has lifelink, complicating our plans. So we're contending with 3 big blockers, along with potentially 4 life gain from our opponent thanks to the lifelink. On our side of the battlefield, we have the motliest crew of iconic Masters creatures I've ever seen. Corpsec Menace lets us double up counters, which works well with maybe our Savageborn Hydra. In theory, we can just go like add counter to Savageborn Hydra, add counter to Savageborn Hydra, add counter to Savageborn Hydra, use all of our mana. Savageborn Hydra gets huge. It's like a 7/7 double striker, although that still doesn't really deal with the problem, but it's cool that we could do that. Kiln Fiend, only a 1/2, gets bigger as we cast spells. Chronicler of Heroes, just a 3/3. It's already on the battlefield. This ability does nothing. Spirit Monger can regenerate. Not super relevant ability when you gotta win this exact turn. Being able to save our Spirit Monger for next turn doesn't really help us, although it can shift colors, so maybe that's relevant. As far as the cards in our hand, we have 3 creatures, most of them involving counters in some way. So Timberland Guide could come down, put 2 counters on one of our creatures, if pumping is helpful. Mariki Nightblade can come down, give Death Touch to our creatures with counters. Crown Ceratok gives our creatures with counter Trample, although right now that's just a 1/1 Savageborn Hydra, which isn't the scariest trampling creature. So I'm not sure that our creatures can really help us out of this situation. So I think that means we're probably going to have to use our Hunt the Weak and or Emerge Unscathed to actually find lethal here. So first off, let's check what happens if we just slam our team into our opponent's team. So opponent's got 3 blockers. They block our 3 biggest creatures, or maybe potentially biggest creatures. They probably got to block the Savageborn Hydra because they'd be worried that we just pump, hit them for 14. So they block Savageborn Hydra, they block Spirit Monger, they block Corpsec Menace. We're not killing our opponent. We're only hitting our opponent for 3-4 damage. We could cast Emerge Unscathed just to pump our Kiln Fiend. 5-6-7 damage, that's still not enough. And now you're probably thinking, well, what if we cast Hunt the Weak before combat to pump our Kiln Fiend? Well, then our opponent's just like, okay, we block your Kiln Fiend, we'll take the damage from Corpsec Menace, they're only taking 7. So there's not a way we can win just by attacking into our opponent's team, especially considering the Blood Baron of Viscopa gaining our opponent up to 13 life. That's the big problem. No matter how we break it down and pump our creatures, it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to get the damage through the Blood Baron of Viscopa, which means I think we need to deal with the Blood Baron of Viscopa. I think that's number 1 on our list. How do we get the Blood Baron off the battlefield? If we can get rid of that lifelink blocker and our opponent only has 2 blockers, then it's pretty easy for us to win the game. We have big creatures, and with 2 blockers we should be able to assemble lethal. So let's say we use our Hunt the Weak, targeting our Spirit Monger and the Blood Baron of Viscopa. Of course, at first, we need to change the color of the Spirit Monger, because Blood Baron of Vizkopa has protection from white and black, so we couldn't fight Blood Baron with the Spirit Monger. Good news is, we can change the color, so we spend 1 black mana, let's make Spirit Monger red. Any non-white, non-black color will do. We fight the Blood Baron of Vizkopa, opponent goes up to 13, we get rid of the Blood Baron, then we just attack with our team, our opponent blocks our Spirit Monger, they block our Kiln Fiend, which is now 4 power, we've used all except 1 of our mana, which means our opponent's taking a hit from a Corpshack Menace for 4, a Savageborn Hydra for 2, Chronicler of Heroes for 3. That's not enough. That's, I mean, a reasonable amount of damage, 9 damage, but our opponent gained life from the Blood Baron of Vizkopa, which means we not only have to get rid of the Blood Baron of Vizkopa, but we need our opponent to not gain life from the Blood Baron of Vizkopa. So how can we actually make that work? And we have a trick here. Remember I was talking about having 1 mana left over. So let's say we do the trick we were talking about. Fight the Blood Baron of Vizkopa with Spirit Monger. After changing Spirit Monger's color to red, for example, then we cast Emerge Unscathed on our Spirit Monger, so while we're fighting our opponent's Blood Baron, we're not actually letting the Blood Baron deal damage to us. We name white or black, it doesn't matter either of Blood Baron's colors, so we kill the Blood Baron, but thanks to the protection from Emerge Unscathed, Blood Baron actually doesn't deal damage to our Spirit Monger, which means our opponent's still at 9, and we got rid of the Blood Baron of Vizkopa, which means then our attack with everything plan is pretty legit. Our Kiln Fiend is going to be up to 7 power thanks to 2 instants or sorceries being cast. Our Spirit Monger is going to be even bigger thanks to the counter from Corpshack Menace, doubling Hunt the Weak, making it an 8/8. So our opponent blocks our Spirit Monger. They block our Kiln Fiend, our 2 biggest creatures. We swing with Corpshack Menace. We swing with Savageborn Hydra and Chronicler of Heroes along with the rest of our team. We get through for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, which is exactly enough to close out the game. So I think that is the solution. We have to fight the Blood Baron of Vizkopa with Spirit Monger, or also we can do it with Kiln Fiend. Either one works, so take your pick. But the key thing is we have to fizzle the damage from Blood Baron and the fighting with Emerge Unscathed to make sure our opponent doesn't gain that life. Because there's no way we can actually kill our opponent from 13, but we can kill them pretty easily from 9 once we get rid of Blood Baron of Vizkopa. So how did you do? Did you come up with a solution? Are there any other solutions to this puzzle? Sometimes there's more than one. Let me know in the comments. Again, if you're interested in the Rivals of Ixalan season of Possibility Storm, make sure to check out their Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.